Good morning, traders. It is Friday. What is this? Going into Memorial Day weekend. May 28th. Yeah, I can't even get my days straight here. It's crazy. So 3-day weekend ahead. Today is graduation day for my daughter. She's a senior in high school. Graduated valedictorian. We're very proud of her. So it's this is her special day. But I got going to be traveling next week, so not going to be around. I thought I'd cut you guys a little special video going into the weekend here and just let you know what I've been seeing. And one of the sectors I don't want you to forget about is materials sector, and we'll cover that in a little bit more detail. So this is market data ended Thursday. And you can see this week so far, S&P is up 1%, NASDAQ 100 up 1.84%, just a little bit less than double the S&P. Overall, we have communications, discretionary and industrials, and real estate being our biggest gainers, and technology also here, 2% nearly on all of these sectors rising this week here. Financials and materials rounding out the week so far with some smaller gains. Energy, staples, healthcare, and utilities at the bottom of the list here. This price performance is as a close on Thursday. This data in this particular table here is live. So I can resort that. There we go. There we go. KIFB. Oh, that's live data. This is yesterday's data. But yeah, it looks to be it's gonna be another positive week for both the S&P and the NASDAQ. We did recapture the 50-day moving average here. Get rid of those labels. It gets a little annoying. Too much data flashing on the screen here. But yeah, so the NASDAQ dipped down to this 13,000 level, bounced back significantly from it, and is now trading back above its 50-day moving average. The S&P came down, touched its 50-day moving average, bounced back off of that, is now trading north of the 20 and the 50-day moving average. So both of those sector spiders this week so far. Our leadership changed a little bit. Get this sorted again. Our leadership changed a little bit. I think it's energy, financials, materials over industrials. So this is what I want to focus on. I'm gonna drill in here to the materials sector with you guys here, because materials sector is got a very slow velocity with these very short line segments here. It's got movement towards the right, which means increasing relative strength, just a slight amount of decreasing momentum. So very short tails holding itself up here in the in the leading quadrant means material sector is going to be here for a while. Real estate sector is moving, advancing further, gaining relative strength week over week as it pushes deeper here into the leading quadrant. Energy sector and financials have very high relative strength, but both of them are seen in a declining mode, declining and losing that relative strength and giving some of that position back. Nevertheless, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sectors that are outperforming the S&P going into the summer. 3 of them in in the weakening quadrant. Communications sector actually looks to me like we're seeing some velocity slowing here. So this southwesterly vector here, the velocity is slowing. Maybe we're going to get a hook and a turn here. There might be some opportunity there. Clearly in the technology, down in the lagging quadrant, but solid forming hook has established itself now. We do have rising momentum back in technology, large cap growth, especially this week, outperforming just about everything else. And one hesitancy I see here is in consumer discretionary it had this rising momentum and then decided to just pause. So momentum's been on hold. Momentum's been essentially neutral over this past week or two, giving back a little bit of relative strength as the overall market, the S&P, moves higher, and most of the discretionary stocks are kind of lagging still with that. But we may see a resurgence of that and get that vector pointed back to the northeast. We do have, in the improving quadrant, we've got utilities, staples, and healthcare. All right, so I'm going to skip over all of this because I'm not going to go through. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to just jump right into materials sector. Todd and Bennett and I were chatting in our Slack team channel that maybe we want to cover materials in a little bit more depth. I think I had something planned for the live stream on April 21st, and for some reason, I forget why, we weren't able to present that morning, and I guess I didn't present my show. So it's about once a month I'll come back into these sectors, especially these ones that are outperforming. And I've been telling you guys on our webinars and on our Monday video that I do, I've really been liking the materials sector for quite a long time. And I've been showing you guys opportunities to get into it. The materials sector also includes the gold miners and the gold mining activity, especially with gold breaking back out. We've got some really interesting opportunities, and there's been a lot of gains there. So let's start here with the XLB, and there is a new upside resistance level established here at 89 in the XLB, and recently, I guess since May 10th here, it looks like we've got a little bit of sideways consolidation going on. But the longer term uptrend is still underway, and look here, we're holding support right here at this 20-day simple moving average. So don't let this little pause, this little short time frame pause, take you away from the bigger picture of a longer term uptrend in play for the XLB. Again, remember, I always say bullish or bearish depends upon your trading time horizon. Okay, so don't ask me if I'm bullish or bearish unless you specify in what time horizon. Okay, so if you want me to day trade, I'm probably bearish. But if you want me to intermediate trade or long-term trade, I'm bullish here in the XLB. All right, sorted by relative strength ratio. Let's get that up here. Let's take a look at the stocks that we have. We have Nucor, Freeport-McMoRan, Martin Marietta at the top with the highest relative strength rotations. Let's go ahead and just look here at the RRG, and it is sorted that way. We'll show you where everything is at. So there is about 2/3 of the stocks in this top 20, and these are by the largest market cap here in the XLB. About 2/3 are outperforming the S&P with higher relative strength ratios than 100, which is the benchmark. Nucor way out here at 124, and Freeport down here. Big difference between these two leaders. One is still advancing with increasing relative strength, albeit some declining momentum starting to come into play. And Freeport, which has already taken a big consolidation move, may be actually finding support and attempting to reestablish and form a new hook there. We'll take a look at the price charts on each one of these, and you can compare those differences. We've got new leadership coming in from the improving quadrant with Newmont Mining ready to push over here into the leading quadrant. Sherwin-Williams, PPG already pushed from the improving quadrant into the leading quadrant over this past month. You can see Sherwin-Williams here advancing here from just last week, right? So you got these blue vectors. That means we've got an improving trend along with a northeasterly vector. These guys are now clearly outperforming the S&P, should continue to do so as they hang around in this leading and even this weakening quadrant. They will be the stocks that continue to outperform. International paper also doing well. Vulcan Materials pushing. Vulcan Materials took a trip back down a brief trip back down right there into this weakening quadrant before rapidly reversing and pushing itself right back up. So a little bit of pause happened there over the last couple of months in Vulcan. Marietta actually looks also like it took a dive down into the weakening quadrant, formed a hook, and is now on its way with a vertical rising momentum to coming back up into play. Dow DuPont also had taken a dive, but look, you can see this hook that formed in Dow DuPont turned around mid-April and seeing rising momentum now. So Dow DuPont held on to its relative strength outperformance. It's slipping a little bit, but getting closer here to the origin axis means it's more performing similar to the S&P, but still a little bit outperforming there. All right, so hopefully that's not too confusing. Let's go ahead and flip through some of these charts, and then we're going to start with them sorted by relative strength ratio. As I flip through them, I will go ahead and just temporarily, I'm going to show you who's leading. This is week to date, so it's Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time when I'm recording this. For the week, Freeport's up 0.27%, Lyondell Basel up about 2%, Corteva, Martin Marietta's, and you can see. So today, Materials is giving back a little bit of its gains. If we look on the downside, Ball Corp's losing 5% this week. Amcor and Dow and International Paper are also on the downside, FMC. So this is not the shining week for Materials. I think it is for technology, semiconductors. Those guys are on the rebound this week. But that said, remember what I'm talking about. We got this small, short-term consolidation going on. So a little bit of there should not be significant outperformance here, but when there is, we may have a breakout happening. Let me resort this list by relative strength ratio, and let's go through. Let's start with Nucor, which is our leader. So here's price action in Nucor, and Nucor is doing a little bit of sideways basing right now. Established a new resistance level up here at this 108, which is an all-time high. Its previous corrections, there was a bit of a directional correction from December through February 1st, and then we had a new uptrend, whereas we saw another little period of correction from March 26th through April 20th, so just about a month there, another uptrend, and now here we are once again in a little bit of a sideways correction. So let this sideways correction play out. And really what we're doing is the stock appreciates and moves up rapidly, but it needs a little bit of time to play catch up back here to these moving averages. So you can see the 20-day simple moving average here probably have a little bit more sideways action, and then we'll look for another test to break out to new highs continuing. The long-term uptrend is, you can see the slope of this long-term uptrend has changed dramatically back here in February, right? So we had this corrective period which broke out on February 19th, and then now you can see this slope here in this rise much higher, right? If this is I don't have the Elliott wave counts going on here, but if we break down this smaller degree, possibly this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a shorter 5. Because 3 can't be the shortest wave. If this is a 1, 2, then this 3 is certainly shorter than this 1. So I would say 5 has to be less than 3 if we were to put our fib ratios on there. I'll leave all that to Bennett in motive wave. But I really think this sideways correction completed, pushed now to new all-time highs. Now we've got another sideways correction forming, and more highs. As long as this stock remains way out here with high relative strength, it's going to see periods of consolidation, okay, but it's going to, over the long term, continue to outperform the S&P. Be careful if it is extended high. If you don't have a position in this stock right now, I can't tell you that this is the ideal time for you to open a new entry. If you do, you need to put very short stop losses if you are trying to speculate on the next move higher, because this correction is still underway and we don't know where it's going to end. Okay, if you're a long-term investor, though, I think there is a lot more upside over the course of the rest of the year, especially if we get some kind of additional infrastructure bill passed. This is Nucor steel. Steel is going to be needed to build bridges and all kinds of stuff. So let's look at Freeport-McMoRan. So Freeport has been in somewhat of a consolidation also from May till now, and it's really its angle of ascent's kind of gotten a little bit more choppy and overwhelmed. But I think in the longer term, this long-term uptrend is still in play. We had a bigger consolidation that happened from February 19th through about March 26th. Again, just about a month with an ABC corrective move there. It's taken some time to break above that, but it did make a breakout May 5th, broke out to new highs. Again, we'll have to mark this now. There's a new resistance target, but long term the uptrend is continuing now. So all of this period here, you've seen Freeport push itself down into the weakening quadrant. It looks to me like right now, if I just take a simple line, we could, you got to say, where is the trend, right? So if we are thinking about possibly breaking above this downtrend resistance line here, and if we see a clear break of that, then I think there's another push higher. It does have to get over this 45 resistance handle, and then it can set new highs again. So we can look for an additional push in Freeport. It's established some more support level here around the $40 mark. So if you're looking at where would I put your stops, just below this $40 mark if you're planning on playing something up there. Let's look at Martin Marietta. So Martin Marietta's got 105.6 on our relative strength ratio. And again, you can see here the longer term uptrend is still in play. This, if I anchor from here, I don't really have anything other than maybe a parallel to this channel to draw this. So I can draw a support line in the shorter term, through those bottoms, right? So connect. The more points that you can connect on a trend line, the higher the resolution you should have on the trend line. But again, this is a smaller degree wave. This will be a larger degree wave. So I'm going to go ahead and say that there's the parallel trend channel. You can see the 200-day, the 50-day, the 20-day moving average, everything moving north in Martin Marietta. These little short-term intermediate corrections that you see here, that's all they are, right? So they're not enormous corrections, right? So there's no breakdown. There's no breakdown in the larger term scene. So larger term move continuing to push higher here in Martin Marietta. Though we do have an overhead, a new high, and I go back in time, I'll tell you that is the all-time high. Okay, so you've got clear skies ahead. If you break out above that, we'll just continue to follow and look for. Just be cautious. Just be real careful where you enter on that. Here's Celanese. Celanese at 105. Let's take a look at Celanese. Same kind of thing. Just recently another surge to 169 and a brief period of consolidation back to the 20-day. Again, this click on that. Come on, baby, give it to me. This I have no handle at this degree of correction, right? This degree of correction that we have here does not have a corresponding correction move up here. And if this is the larger degree correction, this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and we go higher. So personally, I think there's a lot more upside here coming in Celanese. PPG Industries. So PPG also setting, let's get this scale fixed. Yep, looks to me like all-time highs. I don't see anything. Now PPG, back from 2015, basically, if we draw a rectangle from here to there, PPG was just really in a sideways consolidation period all during this time. So for 5 years, PPG did nothing and earned you nothing. Right before COVID happened, we saw PPG start to advance. And of course, right around January, then PPG was pulling back. And then here come, this is the big COVID dip that we had in 2020. So there was some impulsive push to new highs at 135, which that's going to be a strong support level. As we recovered out of the COVID, we broke through that 135 handle, pushed to the new highs, pushed it up to the 153, consolidated in this little period right here. We consolidated back down to that December 19 or 2019 highs. So that's a good strong support level, and I'm going to just make it a little bit bolder because I recognize that that's a key significant price handle. Now this resistance level here, let me zoom in a little bit closer in time for you now. So again, another period of sideways consolidation till there, right? Really the consolidation ends right here, but we don't know it yet until we get this gap higher and this breakout moves, right? So the whole consolidation move was here. The wave count starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, up in 5. I think there's more upside here in PPG. This one looks pretty healthy and strong to me. There's definitely a new uptrend. Here's your 50-day, your 20-day, your 200. Everybody's still looking north. So here's International Flavors and Fragrances. Let me zoom out on this one. This chart, I don't really like the patterns that I see in here, but you can see there's a big period of consolidation, but the recovery here is kind of choppy, not really directional. And so not one of my favorites, but you know, you can't deny that in fact there is some type of an uptrend in place. I don't know where that top's going, but there's some overhead resistance levels. This one's not really a clear growing stock, but it is in the group. International Paper, though, on the other hand, let's take a look at its longer term picture here as I pop in some eyeballs, some key support and resistance levels there. Bam, do that again. So International Paper actually looks to me like there's a strong uptrend in place here coming off the COVID bottoms. Okay, you've got a period of corrective action here, and you've got another one here. Here's the larger term correction there. And here's this is probably wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're up in 5. And as we're going up in 5, this is 1, 2, and now we got to do a 3, 4, and I think there's more upside potential here. So the longer term uptrend here looks to be still cleanly in play. Let's go ahead and draw that. I should have made that red. Let's make that red. There we go. I think there's more action. Look for some near-term consolidation here. I think this corrective move that happened from here to here needs a little bit more. Needs probably a little bit more time to copy selected to paste. There we go. So you can paste that exactly, and I can grab it and move it. It's not enough time here, and whether this becomes, you know, more directional or I think it's going to need a little bit more time. So I would probably look at something like this to play out here in we'll give ourselves a little bit of zone there. So, you know, maybe we're finding support right here or possibly here. And let me just go ahead and remove this. I don't really want all that as a permanent addition to my charting. Just put it there to kind of help you. So I think possibly some sideways consolidation, then we'll see more uptrend. There's definitely more room here in the uptrend channel in international paper. Here's Vulcan Materials. This one just recently set new all-time highs again. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, how are you ever going to make money if you don't set new highs, right? So set a new high here, set one there, set one there, set one there. The uptrend is clearly in play, right? Now the corrective patterns here in Vulcan, I will say, you know, that's a fairly large corrective move there. There's another fairly large one there, and there's another little bit more directional, but fairly large one there. So where's this one going to take us? And how big? What degree is this? Is this going to be a large super degree matching up to this previous one here? I think this one might be a little bit early to tell, and certainly, again, I'm not advocating taking a new position in this right now, but if you did, you've got clear indications of support levels from key price action, turnovers, right? So inflection points here, really, as the trend reversed itself right there. There's a key support level, and then you can see the dip right here. You dip back down to it, but your larger term supports are going to be like back here at you know, at this high where it reversed and turned. It tested again there. So there's the 173. Not out of the question that we could see a larger correction here, or we have a new uptrend in place from here in probably a smaller degree. So possibly more upside here in Vulcan. Lyondell base cell, let's go over here to that one. Take a look at it. This one cleared overhead resistance and on to its next upside resistance level at 116. I'm pretty sure I wrote that a month ago as whenever it did this, but you can see we've been bouncing between this 116, this 110 level here for the most part since May 10th. So May has been a little bit of a choppy month here for this stock. But possibly you've got a new uptrend establishing itself, and either that or just a continuation of this uptrend right here. We do have some overhead resistance levels to take out. Here's Dow. Dow Chemical also broke out to set new all-time highs. Again, don't be afraid of that. Just be patient. You know, it's your timing. You know, be patient with these sideways moves that allow it to catch up to the 20-day moving average. Here's the 50. Here's the 200, and so on. All right, let's go back to this because the other stock. Let's just take a look at what else we have here. Sherwin-Williams. Let's take a look at Sherwin-Williams and PPG, which recently pushed into the leading quadrant. So let me just pull in. This is PPG, right, in the longer term perspective. Yeah, PPG, sorry, get that out of there. There we go. PPG, I think we talked about this already, right? So 2015 till now, the COVID spike and all of that, and we did that one. All right, so let's go back to Sherwin-Williams. We didn't do Sherwin-Williams. Long-term price growth here in Sherwin-Williams. It's been a steady climber, right? If you're a long-term investor, this one you should have had this one. Of course, here's the COVID dip. We've got a tremendous move back up, but just take a look at the multi-year all the way from 2015 onwards. There's a nice large uptrend channel that's just solidly in place for Sherwin-Williams. I'll zoom in here to more near-term data. Pull it down a little bit. So more near-term, we've had a major change in slope, an uptrend slope that started March 4th. We had pretty much a sideways consolidation going on here in that period, from November through March, and then following that we've got a reversal. We got our breakout happened in April. Sherwin-Williams clearly back up in a clean bullish uptrend and pushing to new highs. I would look at this recent consolidation more likely some type of a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's another 5. There's another push higher as we continue to accelerate here in Sherwin-Williams. And finally, Newmont Mining. Then I want to hang it up here for a materials sector. Newmont has been in the Newmont's been in the improving quadrant for a while, and we've seen recently it's broken out to new all-time highs. Right here happened May 17th, and after doing so, it's basically taken a little bit of a sideways stance while it collects and plays some catch-up back here to its 20-day moving average. Look for Newmont Mining to continue to push higher. Here's the big consolidation period that we saw. Whether you say it starts back here or it started here, essentially, about a year's worth of consolidation. The new uptrend established itself. I think the key point for me was this downtrend channel line right here became support. As it was resistance first, it was tested and broken April 15th, pushed up to the 67 level, came back down. The consolidation period brought us right back down to that previous downtrend channel resistance line, which has now established itself cleanly as support. And guess what? From there, boom, big up thrust, impulsive move to the upside. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 something going on. There's more room to the upside, but we do need to, whenever we see these big pushes higher, we need to wait for some period of consolidation to play a little bit of catch up. But what I'm seeing here with Newmont on the precipice of pushing over from the improving into the leading quadrant will get Newmont over here. It will continue to gain relative strength, and it should push itself. It should stay over here in the leading quadrant for quite some time. So again, here's your RRG, and you can take a look. The majority of the stocks are all healthy. Even these ones, there's basically none down here in the lagging quadrant, right? The ones that have the lowest relative strength, they are in the improving quadrant. For the most part, they have northerly vectors. Looks like Ecolab is making a reversal here. Amcor is kind of unsure what it's doing, but for the most part, you've got a lot of momentum coming back into materials. So don't be afraid to get into this stuff. Just do your diligence, apply your own technical analysis trades. I don't know your time frame. Are you a day trader, intermediate trader, or long-term trader? All I can do is give you the analysis, let you apply your own techniques, and establish this. Now, I will say all of this information, Bennett and Todd also get to see this, so whenever they're looking for trade opportunities, they'll review my work and go and put the appropriate Elliott wave stuff, and we get a confluence of signals to go on all of this. That just gives us higher conviction when we put our trades on. But again, establishing your time frame is very important in everything. So Guys, I wish you all a happy Memorial Day. Honor the veterans who gave their lives to protect our freedoms. And if you're an active military, thank you for your service, gentlemen. Have a great week.